Hi, and welcome to my final case study for EDL 850, Module 12, over Internet use violations. We have a situation involving Miss Tate, a second-year secondary high school teacher. She teaches advanced science courses such as zoology and genetics. Her class is very rigorous and stressful for many of the students, and she's had student and parent complaints, but hasn't changed her instructional strategy. One day, over an extended weekend, she received an anonymous email directing her to a link. She clicked the link and found that there was a very hurtful Facebook page created discussing her actions, their dislike for her, and one post even said, "Who wants Miss Tate to disappear?" Miss Tate is very scared, she's frantic, and she thinks that people are threatening to kill her. She contacts her principal in a frenzy and explains the situation. Her principal asks her to please calm down and takes a look at the materials. He calls her back and states that he feels this is a prank, but he'll investigate further. He asks who might be a perpetrator of this crime, and she jumps to the conclusion of student William Hall. She feels that he does not like her, he always talks about her behind her back, and she thinks he's in charge of this incident. The principal says that they'll discuss it in the morning, and that's where the case study stops. In analyzing this problem, here's what I need to know. First off, I need to know if Miss Tate is in harm's way. I want to make sure she's in a secure location. She stated she's staying the night at her parents' house, so I feel she's protected for now. I'll need to know who all dislikes Miss Tate. I'll try to find out who sent the anonymous email to warn her of the site. I want to know if my district technology department can analyze and track the sender of the email and see who created the Facebook page. I want to know who wrote the actual threat for the hurtful post threatening to kill Miss Tate. Lastly, I'll need to double check to see what district policies are in effect when a student threatens a staff member outside of school and on social media, and I'll need to know what type of consequences should be taken or have been taken in the past for such a situation. Overall, my problem is that Miss Tate has been threatened by anonymous students on social media. We need to identify who did this to her, and we need to issue consequences. There's also a bigger problem in the fact that our students are so stressed out in Miss Tate's classroom that they're resulting to such drastic behavior. So I need to find a way to also improve her instructional strategies to decrease student stress levels. Here's my plan of action. This plan of action has 6 steps, each with quite a bit to each one of them, so I will detail them for you now. Step 1 is to have a conference with Miss Tate. In the morning, we'll meet and discuss the email and the Facebook page. I don't believe that Miss Tate will feel comfortable teaching in her classroom that day, or maybe even that whole week, so we need to come up with an instructional plan. We'll find a substitute and make plans so that she can go home, gain her composure, and feel safe while I deal with this issue. Step 2 is to involve the tech department. I'll confiscate her computer and also send it up to the tech department so they can investigate the links. Hopefully they'll be able to identify the users, and we can get their computers as well to see if we can check their browser history. While tech is investigating browser histories, I'm going to interview multiple students from a variety of her classes. She teaches 3 different subjects, and so I'll take a sampling from a lot of those classes and interview them. I'll gain insights and to potential students. I will question potential perpetrators, but I will not focus solely on William Hall. I don't want to jump to speculations about that child, because if I speculate, then that could create some hostility between his parents and I don't want to start that issue. Step 4, hopefully I'll be able to find out who the perpetrator is. I'll closely evaluate our school policies and see what consequences need to be taken and issue them in an appropriate manner. I'll also be in contact with any student who is involved in this issue so the parents are notified and that they feel comfortable with the consequence and understand why it was given out. Step 5 involves class meetings with each of the classes that Ms. Tate teaches. The students need to understand why threats to teachers, even if they seem harmless via social media, are not appropriate. This is a good teaching moment for the students so that they learn that what they post online does come back and haunt them in real life. It's easy for them to feel as if what they say in the digital world will have no effect on them, but this is a great moment for them to learn that actions online have consequences. I'll reiterate my classroom expectations for respect for authority and how to deal with issues that they have with teachers in a positive manner instead of going to an extreme manner such as this. Lastly, I need to work with Ms. Tate to improve her instructional strategies. Obviously, what she's doing is not working. She teaches a rigorous class, and that's one thing, but when good students go to such lengths as this to create a point, then something needs to change. I'm going to allow Ms. Tate to go in and observe a lot of other highly successful science teachers in our district. I hope that this will allow her to see how it's done by other teachers and maybe help her improve. I'll also have those teachers come in and observe Ms. Tate as well. Hopefully, being a second-year teacher, she still has a mentor teacher, but if not, I'll assign one for her. I will also send Ms. Tate to additional professional development on other instructional strategies to help her improve her classroom environment. Resolution. My plan of action promotes academic success and personal well-being of each student because it shows them I take threats seriously. They know that I don't like threats to my staff members or to my students, and students can feel more secure knowing I take it seriously. It doesn't jump to conclusions. I didn't automatically suspect William Hall. I gave everybody a fair chance. I listened to all perspectives, and I issued fair consequences. I kept their families informed and gave students a teaching opportunity through the use of our class meetings. I also show students that I take their concerns seriously by allowing Ms. Tate to have some improved instructional strategies shown to her, which will hopefully reduce the student's stress load overall. While considering this case study, I was thinking, feeling, and valuing several different things. The main thing I was thinking is that these students in Ms. Tate's class are really high achievers. They're academically excellent, their behavior has been good in the past, and so for them to do something so drastic, there's something wrong in the classroom environment. I need to protect Ms. Tate, but I also need to figure out how I can help change the environment so that these good students don't lash out in such ridiculous ways again. I was really concerned for the well-being of my teacher, and I was concerned about the mental stability of the students in those classrooms. Like I said, these students have done a really good job in the past, and it's unusual for something so violent and so unprofessional to come from these kids. So I'm feeling concerned and worried for their mental stability, and I'm also a little concerned about the pushback from parents when they hear the consequences for their students. Lastly, I'm valuing the safety of my students and staff. Overall, it's my job to create a safe and welcoming environment for everybody within my school, and when somebody issues threats, that disrupts that fact. So hopefully, by using our problem resolution and our plan of action, we can solve a lot of those issues and everybody will feel a little bit more stable in our classroom. My plan seems to be a good one, but there still could be issues. Such issues could include parental pushback. Ms. Tate might suffer trauma. I know I probably would feel a little shaken by this whole thing. And there could be increased tension between Ms. Tate and the culprit. Hopefully she doesn't retaliate in an unprofessional manner. I think that this classroom environment is probably tainted for the rest of the year. They're already stressed, and miracles probably aren't going to happen overnight. Hopefully the instructional strategies Ms. Tate learns can be applied to the next year, though, so that we do not have those same issues. Lastly, there is a chance that Miss Tate is not willing to change her instructional strategies. She might feel that this is the way she teaches, and that's the way it is. Hopefully, she's not that way, but after suffering trauma, you never know. In conclusion, I think my plan addresses the problems laid out in the case study. I think it's fair and equitable to all parties, and I think it addresses what needs to be done in a positive manner while considering the needs of all parties involved. Thanks for watching.